GolfN is excited to announce its first ever trip sweepstakes to Northern Ireland. You can enter to win this epic 9-day adventure to Ireland's north, featuring some of the greatest links golf on the planet. GolfN is partnered with experienced golf tour operator Golf Traveler, who specializes in curating the very best golf tours to host this trip. We've invited Adam Young from Golf Traveler to talk a little bit more about their services and this once-in-a-lifetime itinerary they put together for GolfN. So Adam, hello, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, excited to be on here as a Portrush man and talk about this epic trip. I'm sure the lucky travellers will enjoy it from start to finish. It's pretty bucket list stuff.
Absolutely. You know, Northern Ireland is a very special place. I'm glad we have you. It sounds like you've got plenty of experience. Why don't you just give us a little background of what you do and your firm, Golf Traveler, as well?
Sure, yeah. So Golf Traveler, we are a premium golf travel experience business. We take people all over the world, St Andrews, the old course, right across to New Zealand. We bring people to the Masters every year, the Open Championship, and basically everything in between. We provide luxury, experiences that really try and get the most out of whatever region you're going to. So if it's South Africa, it's not only the golf, but how do we pair that with, the vineyards experiences and gastronomy and really making the most of each destination.
Awesome. And you're a local too, I take it. Living up in Portrush.
Yeah, born and bred in Portrush.
That's probably a lot of golf for you.
So that's my hometown. Lived there all my life. I used to caddy at Portrush as a summer job from when I was about 12 years old. I'm a member at Portstewart Golf Club and have played every golf course on this itinerary and can vouch for their epicness.
Absolutely. I think I've had a chance to play Northern Ireland, Northwest Ireland, Southwest Ireland, all over Scotland. And when I look at this itinerary, I've played most of it, not Rosapenna. But pound for pound, I think it's really hard to beat this. And I know a lot of, people from the US and Canada, they kind of think St. Andrews first. But this itinerary here, when you combine just the just kind of the beauty of the drives between the courses, you look at the 1-2 punch of Portrush and County Down, and then just the complementary courses along with it. This is something that really, from what I've seen in the world, and maybe you can back me up here, but I don't know if there's a second best. Just kind of looking at what our itinerary has here. How does it stack up?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and you're taking off the third best golf course in the world straight out the gates at Royal County Down. Has been number one in the past. For me, as a links golf purist, this is number one in my opinion. And rightly so, and complemented by the likes of Ardglass the next day, which is a fantastic links course, the oldest clubhouse in the world, and then off to an Irish Open venue at Ballyliffin, and then followed by Tom Doak's masterpiece. I was lucky enough to play here in May of last year at the Sandy Hills, and obviously St Patrick's Links, which Doak's designed. Sandy Hills is an Irish Open qualifying venue. St Patrick's Links is now inside the top 50 in the world, and its second year it was inside the top 50. It is spectacular. It is borderline impossible to design new golf courses in Ireland. That just doesn't happen. So the fact that there was a pre-existing golf course footprint on that land and they were able to build this golf course, it's absolutely spectacular. Followed by Portstewart. Again, I'm biased. This is my home club, but probably the best opening tee shot in the world, genuinely. And I know that's quite a big statement, but typically your first tee starts by the clubhouse, and the clubhouse generally isn't in the most epic spot. So yeah, it's a 60, 70 foot elevated tee shot, dog lay left to right, with a Portstewart Strand beach down the left and the right hand side, Mussenden Temple on the cliff top in the background. There is nothing like it. 100-foot dunes all around you. And then last but not least, why not play Royal Portrush, this year's Open Championship venue? While this round will be taking place, the grandstands will be going up. The infrastructure will be in place for the Open this year, so you'll maybe get a little feel of what playing in an Open Championship feels like.
Wow! So you got the grandstands going. It's the last day, right, before they shut it down. So this is the last chance the public can play Portrush before they prepare for the Open. So I mean, conditions, grandstands, it's going to be a theater.
It will probably be in as good condition as the golf course can ever get. So whoever plays this golf course, it will never get better than this. You can go back to Portrush 100 times, it won't be better than the condition it's in for these two lucky winners.
Nice. Yeah, you're talking about best opening tee shots, and Portstewart obviously is incredible. You've got the elevation. Is Ardglass though the first tee shot there is epic. I would argue even more epic. You're playing in front of that super old clubhouse dating back to like the 1400s,
Yeah,
and then you're playing like up. Uh,
yeah.
I remember like having chills on that tee shot. You have these just jagged rocks, these jagged black rocks with waves crashing uh, on your first tee shot. I actually hooked it straight into the into the sea. Um, Ardglass to me is one of these courses that 20 years ago I don't think anyone really talked about it over in North America, and now it's like a must. You like if you're playing Royal County Down, you got to go down the road and go to Ardglass. It's probably going to be a little easier than our Royal County Down. I think a lot of people probably aren't going to shoot career lows
No.
at Royal County Down, but Ardglass is just gorgeous, and a completely different experience from what you're going to see at Portrush in County Down. So tell me a little bit about the evolution of Ardglass because they've really been putting in the work.
They have, and you're absolutely right. It has risen in prominence in the sort of golf travel space, and I think number one because of the investment that they've put into the course. They've enhanced so many different holes and the bunkering, the greens have been improved. But I think people are looking for something more out of their golf travel experiences. They're looking for those little sleeper courses, the ones that complement an itinerary like this. I wouldn't recommend playing Royal County Down 9 days in a row. It might be exhausting. You need these courses, and they're amazing. They're different. They're not any worse in terms of like the quality of the golf you'll play. They're absolutely fantastic, but they just offer something else. A chance to go low and have a great day out and experience a different style of golf. It's a superb complement to, like I said, Royal County Down and following those on. It's a really creates a nice little theme to the trip for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think uh, mentioned this a little bit at the beginning, but you've got the courses here, and all very different. Royal County Down and Portrush are different, but both world class. But
Yeah.
the designs are a little different. But the what connects the courses, I think to me is just so fascinating. How you had all these courses in Northern Ireland, kind of built really when the railway was expanding in
Yeah.
the late 1800s, and you just kind of had this like line of like courses built along the railway, and then you've got this scenic drive up there that is just epic. Talk a little bit about all the kind of stuff that you're going to see in between epic golf.
Yeah, I mean the journey between golf courses, between destinations in Northern Ireland is one of a kind. The White Rocks and the cliffs of Portrush. You've got the epic journey down into Donegal from Belfast, where you're just traversing through this incredible. It's like a moonscape. Honestly, at times you're passing waterfalls and huge sort of mountain ranges. Yeah, it's the journey between courses is just what sets this product apart, this experience. It doesn't stop when you get in the bus. You think you're going you sit on a bus journey, you think, oh, I'll catch a sleep here for an hour, but you end up just staring, looking out the window the whole time. And it's particularly going towards Donegal, towards the Rosapenna. It's genuinely like going back in time. It's the best way I can describe going to Donegal. They're about 50 years behind the rest of civilization in Ireland in the best, most respectful way. It's just superb. The roads get narrower, the little quaint towns and villages, the shops get smaller, the pubs get, more intimate, and everything about it is, it just really feels like a cultural journey when you're traveling along this program for sure.
Yeah, so this itinerary is actually, you're in Northern Ireland, and then you're kind of going back into the Republic of Ireland in the Northwest. And I
Yes.
don't know if anything's changed since I've been, but the Northwest roads and just the kind of infrastructure is, it's a little more back road than Northern
Right.
Ireland. The roads there are really nice, but I'm thinking of like Giant's Causeway. like you've got to set some time aside to go check out Giant's Causeway. Really,
Yeah,
just this natural marvel along the coast that I really can't explain it. it's it's very it's a fascinating place to just kind of go walk around at. And then the Dunluce Castle too. You know, on the road to Portrush, which you can see from Portrush, this old castle ruin. You got to stop off there and poke your head around a little bit too.
for sure. I mean, yeah, the Dunluce Castle is a must for this trip. Just for the context as well, you'll see it on TV when you get down to the fifth green at Royal Portrush. The backdrop is the White Rocks cliffs with Dunluce Castle perched on the edge. You can go and visit there. Again, I've talked to people a million times about the Giant's Causeway, and I really, really don't know how to describe it properly or do it justice. It's the most ridiculous setting, a rock formation ever. You've also got on the cliff tops, just round the corner from the Giant's Causeway, Carrick Reed rope bridge, which is old salmon fisherman's rope bridge, suspended 90 feet in the air across the cliff. If you dare to go there on a windy day, you know, two club wind might be a bit hairy going across there, but it's just incredible. You've got Bushmills Distillery for anyone that's interested in whiskey. Bushmills Whiskey Distillery is the oldest licensed distillery on planet Earth. It was invented in Scotland. We'll give them that, but we had the first distillery with a license to produce. And yeah, I do recommend the 16-year-old for anyone that goes. You can also buy the Distillery Reserve, which is the only place you can buy the Distillery Reserve as well. So if you want to get a special gift for anyone back home, I would recommend buying a bottle of that.
How about food? How are you going to be feeding us on this trip? You got any good cuisine lined up for us?
I mean, endless. In Belfast, particularly, it's just a cosmopolitan hub. You can just about have anything you want. It's incredible. Some of the restaurants quite close to the hotel we'll be staying. You've got Cathedral Quarter, which you can just, I mean, anything from Asian cuisine, Italian. You've got some local produce, some really good gastro pubs. The North Coast as well is a hub, and you must try the fish and chips in Portrush as well if you get a chance. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, this is a trip that is 9 days long. So starting Monday, April 28th, and it looks like we're split in two spots for accommodations. So we'll be in Belfast for a few nights, and as you mentioned, that's a cosmopolitan hub. Really kind of nice size city to get around. I really just love a lot of these cities in the UK and Ireland where they're just like this kind of great size where you can kind of walk around so nicely, get to some really nice districts. A really fascinating town to check out. And then you've got us also in Donegal as well. So kind of tell us where you're putting us up and the differences between those two places.
Sure, yeah. So we're starting off at the Grand Central Hotel. It's a five-star, fairly new hotel in Belfast. It's ultra modern, floor-to-ceiling glass in all the rooms. You've got a rooftop cocktail bar called the Observatory, and some amazing restaurants on site. It's an amazing, well-positioned base for the Belfast leg of this trip. And like I said, everything's walking distance from the hotel. You can get out and about at your leisure from this place, no problem at all. And then, as I said, back in time to Donegal, you're in a very quaint, small bay, a hotel in the middle of the bay. It's right beside Rosapenna. It's right beside the golf courses. And I do have to commit and dedicate an entire segment to the Harbour Bar pub, which is a 5-minute walk from the hotel. In terms of what an Irish pub should feel like and what it should look like, it is everything. If you asked AI to design the best looking Irish typical pub in the world, this would be it. You've got a small peat fire, low ceilings, memorabilia on every wall. You've got the old gentleman in the corner with the flat caps on, the best pint of Guinness you'll ever have in your life, and it's a walk uphill from the hotel. And once you've had your Guinness, you can roll back downhill. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know that the crack in the bars after a round of golf is what Ireland's for. So every night it seems like you're going to want to find somewhere to go, whether it's a bar or distilleries, hotel bars, all that. There's no shortage of options. It's really it's a special place to go to just because the people are so welcoming when you're there. They genuinely ask you how your golf went. They want to talk about your golf in these places, which is just so great. Well, one course we didn't mention yet, Ballyliffin, which is that's an Irish Open host. Yeah, that it's amazing that we're like overlooking an Irish Open links on this itinerary. It's just that stacked. Ballyliffin to me is I think it's the northernmost course in Ireland. Is that correct?
It is. It's funny. Like it's
Yeah.
the way the island is shaped. Donegal and Ballyliffin are in the Republic of Ireland, which is technically referred to as the South, but this is more north than Northern Ireland, because of the little peninsula that it's out on. But again, Ballyliffin, the Glashidi Links is spectacular. It starts out fairly calm, and then it builds up into sort of this raised headland, and then you're playing downhill towards the beach again. One of the coolest par threes ever. For those that haven't seen it, please look it up. It's elevated, and I just really struggle with elevated par threes because it's just so difficult to club, which makes it so interesting. It's so elevated, with water to the right hand side. You've got this little pond, so it's a really really interesting. It's a novel hole, but it's a fantastic round of golf. And as you said, the fact that we've just skipped over this is testament to how ridiculous the lineup is and how good these golf courses are.
I remember that hole well because there was a crosswind when I played it, and so some of these winds in Ireland are no joke. Add an elevated tee shot to it, and I think I hooked my ball about 40 yards left. But very memorable. What should our guests be preparing for before they head over to Ireland? How can I make sure that I have a decent round over there? Maybe make some birdies while I'm playing around Portrush, County Down. I mean, I know our people want to have a few good moments on these courses. How should we be preparing?
Practicing off a tight lie to start with. These golf courses are going to be in incredible condition. They always are. Tight lies, just getting the ball back in the stance and controlling your flight as well. I think a low ball flight's always going to be good to keep the ball in play, keep it out of the wind if you can. Waterproof clothes, shorts. I I played Glashidi Links in 30-mile-an-hour winds and rain. 2 days later, I was playing St Patrick's Links in shorts and a t-shirt. And I know that's unbelievably cliche, but it's completely accurate. So prepare for all weathers, keep the ball low, and stay out of the bunkers. Probably what I would say.
And how about Portrush too? Any kind of favorite moments to look out for when they're playing the Open Championship host, Royal Portrush?
Yeah, so the fifth hole for me is one of the top 10 golf holes on planet Earth. It's a downhill sort of dogleg left to right hole with the green finishing 40 feet above the White Rocks beach, as I said, overlooking Dunluce Castle. The tee shot, it it requires a fairly shape drive if you can work it left to right, if possible. Otherwise, the straight ball you're going to have a big carry, which is exciting, right? Because you're presented with the opportunity to play the hero shot, and the second shot is just equally as epic because if you do manage to hit the fairway, the green is in front of you, slightly elevated, and it looks like the back of the green drops off the face of the earth. It's like an infinity green. Like I said, it drops off back onto the beach. So distance control for that one, if you've got any kind of wind in play, that also has to be factored in. It's just really, really sort of confusing at that time, but the entire hole, start to finish, is superb. And then obviously the famous Calamity Corner, is an all carry par three that just is death to the right hand side. It's just a valley, actually leads down onto the valley course, Portrush's second course. But you're going to need anything from, depending on which way the wind blows, a 3 wood to an 8 iron. So that one will keep you busy.
Calamity Corner has to be one of the most intimidating holes I've ever seen, especially if you have a slice. So there's more room than you think to the left. So if you're on the course and you see someone ahead of you and they miss it short right on Calamity Corner, uh, seeing them walk down there is just a sad scene. you,
Indeed.
you wonder how they're going to get up. So yes, go left on 17. So the fifth hole, I actually memorable story for me. I had a chance to play in the Irish Open Pro Am when they got the Irish Open back in I think 2012.
Yeah.
Around then, the crowds were like jacked. This was the first event that Northern Ireland had had of this magnitude like ever.
Yeah.
And so like there was like 20,000 people out for this pro am, and I'm paired with John Daly. Then they wanted to put the Yank with a fellow Yank, I guess.
Yeah.
But fifth hole comes by, and I am like so nervous. There's so many people out there. I'm playing Royal Portrush in a pro am, so he knocks it down the middle on five. I'm a box up 40, 50 yards ahead of him. And I
Yeah.
knock it down the middle too. And I'm like 5 yards right ahead of his ball. So, I get to be like, oh, you're away, John. Like a big shot. He sticks his wedge to about 10 feet, like pretty ordinary, wedge for Daly.
Yeah.
And I go up and I just skull my wedge straight over the green, like basically on the beach. I'm OB, I'm ball in pocket. It was a very humbling experience. But yes, the tight lies, practice your tight lies so you're not, sculling wedges.
Exactly. And then luckily this round
But
of golf
epic experience.
at the end of the itinerary as well. So you should have had enough practice that you'll go low at Portrush and I suppose having County Down at the start of the trip. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, Adam, we're super excited. We're glad you're gonna show us around with Golf Traveler over there, shepherded every step of the way, so we can look out the window and admire all the scenery, and enjoy our pub fare. Um, it's
For
it's
sure.
gonna be awesome. So thanks for putting this together. Thanks for getting that tee time for us at Portrush before the Open. That's gonna be an incredible experience. I think anybody who's seen the Open Championship, the grandstands on 18 is like, it doesn't get any better than walking up, seeing grandstands on 18 just surrounded. So that'll be chills for everyone playing. So we're excited to see who wins the sweepstakes and gets to experience this outstanding 9-day trip to Northern Ireland and parts of Northwest Ireland as well. So thanks, Adam, for doing this, and we'll see you soon.
Right. Take care.